She went into a coma and she passed away.
Right.
No, I didn't connect with the audience, and I thought I'd let my sister down. Yeah, did the TEDx talk. I was the first speaker on the day.
And good evening. Welcome to another episode of the Paradiso podcast. It's number 3 this week, and we've had some amazing guests so far. Paradiso podcast, a podcast brought to you by Paradiso, bringing you the very best in local champions, business leaders, and community heroes. Our aim is to get them here, learn from them, hear their experiences, and try and better ourselves whilst enjoying a fabulous pizza. What's on the menu today? We have a chicken pizza. Let's just say chicken and cheese, and some very, very healthy salad. So my guest this evening is a fine young gentleman who runs a CIC in Wolverhampton. A young lad by the name of Jin Atwal, doing some amazing work in the Black Country in Wolverhampton, and is constantly striving to empower the youth via the sport of boxing, and trying to get the youth off the streets and trying to get their mindsets in the right place. So, Jin, welcome.
Welcome.
Thank you for coming today. I appreciate it's late at night, but please do feel free to tuck in. It looks rather delicious. So, a bit about yourself. What's your background?
So basically, I used to work in the corporate sector, so Empower, for about 14 years.
Yeah.
Got made redundant and decided I wanted to get into property. Didn't really have a great childhood myself. Father was an alcoholic. Had a lot going on.
And you're from Wolverhampton?
From Wolverhampton, yeah. And always wanted to get into property. For the reason I wanted to get into property, because I wanted to develop homes for families. I never felt my home felt like a home. Did that for a while, but there was still something missing. I felt like I wasn't living my purpose.
Yeah.
So I was continuing to do that for a while. Things were going okay. Going from the corporate world to working for myself was a big jump. So I started to read a lot of self-development books and understanding my mindset. Still had a lot going on in my mind. But I was in a good place mentally.
Yeah.
Probably the best I'd ever been in terms of my mindset for a long time. I was doing that for about 2 years, and then I got contacted from my elder sister telling me that she had an autoimmune disease, mixed connective tissue disease.
Yes.
And basically, she wasn't well, and within a couple of months from that point, from when I saw her in September, she went into a coma and she passed away.
Wow.
So I kind of went from somewhere that I was kind of getting to the best place I'd be in a kind of mindset way for a long time, to being at my lowest point.
Yeah.
And I started to drink a lot myself, started to stop speaking to friends and family, and I was just in a bad place. So the first thing I did was I thought, okay, I need to go back to basics and do what helped me get into the right place and right frame of mind in the first place.
Yeah.
So I started to read a lot of self-development books again, started to do a lot of running, and started to get into a good place again. So physically I was in a good place, mentally I was in a good place, but there was still something missing. And I was like, I need to do something in my life. I need to live with more purpose.
Yeah.
And I made a childhood promise to myself, and that promise was that one day I'll help young children that was in a similar situation to I was as a child.
Okay.
But I hadn't fulfilled that, and it was always playing in my mind. You said that promise to yourself, but you've not. What have you done?
Yeah.
And this kept on playing in my mind, and at the same time, I wanted to leave my sister's legacy behind, and I thought she had left me a final message. A message about life and how we should live our life through the lens of death.
Yeah.
And do all the things we want to before that time comes. So this was playing on my mind, and I thought, okay, I want to share my sister's message. But at this point, even though I was in the right place in terms of my mindset and physically, my communication skills were really lacking. I was really shy. I looked at people in the eye when I spoke to them, looked to the ground all the time, and I thought, who am I to go and spread my sister's message? Who's going to listen to me?
Yeah.
So I joined a speaking club called Toastmasters.
Yeah.
Walked into there, and the first day my heart was beating, and I did a speech in front of the group, and I was shaking.
Yeah.
But continued.
Yeah.
And my actual first speech was called "Waking Up from Your Wake Up Call," dedicated to my sister. And I thought, I did the speech, and I thought, that's not good. No, I didn't connect with the audience, and I thought I'd let my sister down. But I continued and kept on practicing. And a year from that date, I entered the international speaking competition for Toastmasters with my sister's speech again. And I won at club level, won at area level.
Okay.
And then I got all the way to the finals for the whole of the UK and Ireland.
Yeah.
And actually came second for the whole of the UK and Ireland with my sister, with a speech dedicated to my sister.
Fantastic.
And the date of the finals was my sister's birthday. So it kind of all fell like it was meant to be in many ways. And I shared my sister's message to a lot of people. And what I found was that the pieces started to come together. And the way I saw it, I was at a good place, the best place I'd been in my life, because I'd worked on 3 areas of health: physical health, mental health, and social health. And if you put all those together, I believe you can achieve anything in your life, and that's what happened to me. And I thought, now I know how to help young children.
Yeah.
I need to create a program that helps them physically, mentally, and socially. And if I can help them in all those areas, they can become the best version of themselves. And
Cool.
that's the
We'll
program
come
I
back to
created.
that. So, I mean, your story is fascinating, honestly. Before the adversity, before the sad passing of your sister, you kind of left a corporate job and you decided to go self-employed. And you started reading some books. As Asians, we seem to feel that we're born business people. What can any book teach us? What can any mentor teach us? How important would you say that getting the knowledge was for you to help you on your entrepreneurial journey?
I think it's a massive change. I think going from the corporate world, from getting up 9 o'clock, going to work, having that routine set for you, and kind of being told what to do once you get there. I know I'd got to a high level within the company, but still there's that structure.
Have some, dig in.
There was that structure there, but all of a sudden I had no structure. I working for myself. I was deciding when to wake up in the morning.
And that can be a bit hard as well,
It's very difficult.
Because there's no structure there anymore, is it?
Yeah, there's a structure to the system. And it was reading those books that kind of got me into forming some kind of habit and some kind of routine.
Yeah.
One of the first books I read was The Miracle Morning. Mm-hmm. And it's all about waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning, going for a run, reading, doing affirmations, visualization.
It's basically
planning.
discipline, isn't it? It's
Discipline.
It's the same discipline when you're employed, but your employer is calling the shots. But when you're self-employed, sometimes it's hard to find that discipline and that timekeeping, which is very, very, very important. So your professional development and personal development started by reading these books and following certain mentors and successful people to try and emulate what they've already done. Then you had the unfortunate circumstances of your sister passing away. Having been through something like that very recently, I can totally resonate with what you're saying, and it can be a very, very dark place. And sometimes to save face with everybody else in your family, you've got to sometimes just man up and get up with it and just get on with it. But it does have a detrimental effect on your mental health, on your physical health, and on your perception of life and things that are around you. How do you find the energy to come out of that, or what was the wake-up call for you that, you know what, I need to sort this out because this is going down a dark road?
I think for me, it was just, I've got 2 young daughters, married, and my father lost his younger brother when he was when he was like in his 30s. His younger brother got in a car accident and passed away, and I seen my dad go down that route of drinking a lot and going in a dark hole, and I seen that what that did to him. He had that wake-up call, but he didn't know how to turn his life around, and he went into a dark place and eventually passed away himself from alcohol. And I thought to myself, I don't want to do that. I don't want to follow that route, and if I did, I'd be stupid to do that as well. Knowing what I've learned in my life and had that experience, if I just repeated that over again, I've learned nothing.
Yeah.
And I've got 2 young daughters. I can't let them down. I can't let my mom down, who's been through a lot as well.
Absolutely.
And I thought, okay, I need to become a better person. And my sister, I need to make her proud.
Yeah.
And I always wanted to make her proud, and I wanted to continue to make her proud. So for me, it was just saying, okay, Jin, you need to take control of your life. And like I was lucky in many ways, I'd taken control of my life just before she passed away, so I knew how to.
Yeah.
So I thought, okay, go back to the basics, go back to reading, go back to physical exercise.
We faced adversities of all natures. This was, the ultimate, a family member passing away, which is the ultimate. But generally in society, we face challenges every day. Business owners face challenges, and they kind of don't know where to go. They go into a dark hole. As humans, we face challenges. We face, things that when they don't go our way, and we turn to all the wrong things for support or as a way out. How did you realize that boxing or the gym was your way out? Because I've been through that myself in the first lockdown, when, the very first lockdown, when people were dying everywhere and there was so much fear in us. I turned to the gym because I thought to myself that, when all else fails, go to what you know best.
Yeah.
And for me, that gym was something that actually got me through the whole lockdown situation.
Yeah.
How did you realize that boxing is because, was you a gym goer before? Was you into boxing before? How did you realize that this is my escape?
Yes, I did boxing when I was around 13, 14 years old, and that was my escape as a child at the time. But then I'd gone to uni and really stuck to those things. But I think the key was, for me, a nurse that was at the hospital where my sister was admitted.
Yeah.
We kept in contact, and she said, "Have you ever heard of park run?" And I said, "No, not really." And she goes, "Go to a park run event, which, they're all over the place. You just turn up and you run. You do a 5K run around the park." And she goes, "Just turn up and just do it."
Yeah.
And I thought, I don't even enjoy running. I used to do it when I was boxing, and that was a bit that I didn't really like. Didn't mind the rest, but that run around at the beginning, just didn't like it.
Stamina building.
Yeah, but I did it, and I went to the park run, took my mum with me.
Yeah.
And so let's do the park run event. Got there, and there's like 400 people of all ages, all with different experiences, all have gone through something in some way. You get to talk to them.
So you're socializing as well, aren't you?
Yeah.
And you're learning from people around you.
Definitely.
Right. And they're all coming from all different walks of life, but you're all there for the same goal, which is to run.
Yeah.
But because of that, you've just met these people.
Yeah.
Which is very important, isn't it? It's
Definitely.
very, to have a social circle around you of like-minded individuals.
Yeah.
That does kind of, and I presume there's probably days where you don't want to go, but it's those people around you that are saying, come on, and you motivate and you push each other.
Yeah, definitely. And it might sound strange, but when I started to run that at the beginning, there's times where it just felt like my sister was running next to me.
Yeah.
And I was running, and I'd go into this kind of meditation trance in many ways, and we just felt like we was running together.
Wow.
And it just felt peaceful, and I felt close to her.
So now the work you do with the CIC and with the children, how does that work?
So I've created a program. It's called The Best Version of Me. It's a 12-week program, and I've tried to create it so there's something that brings the children in. So if I originally started off with public speaking on itself and a bit of mindset stuff, but if you're looking at it from a teenager's point of view, and they see a course about mindset and public speaking, it's not something that's
It's not appealing.
fun or appealing to them. So I thought, okay, I need to bring something in that they enjoy.
Yeah.
And I wanted it all to be authentic to me.
Yeah.
And I thought, okay, what helped me as a child? And it was boxing. So I went and got a boxing coaching qualification so I could bring the boxing in. So then I did the boxing, and then I'll teach them some public speaking. I'll teach them some mindset stuff.
So that's kind of the hook.
The hook, yeah.
To get them in,
And
then you can work on the on the other skills.
Yeah, and what I'll find is from all the surveys and the focus groups that I do with them afterwards, they go, yeah, we came for the boxing, but we love the public speaking and the mindset stuff
That's
as
just
well.
amazing, and I think we need a lot more of that in society right now. Youth crime, as you know, is at all-time high, and I think one of the reasons of that may be that there's lack of resources, lack of activities for the kids to do, and lack of superstars like you in the community who are actually striving to to help these kids. So your public speaking, public speaking is something that many of us, including myself, absolutely petrified from. And you're a TEDx speaker. So what is a TEDx speaker first for the viewers?
So some people might have heard of TED Talks. So it's an American organisation where you can just go on and do a talk, an inspirational talk that's meant to be there to inspire people, share an idea. And TEDx is kind of the franchise of that. And it's for a speaker to do a TED talk is kind of a dream aspiration,
Ultimate,
something you
isn't
want
it?
to do. Yeah. And I had it on my vision board just after I lost my sister, and I got into all this. I had that TEDx picture on my laptop, which I look at every single day, and I want to really do a TEDx talk, and I thought it was out of my reach in many ways, but then I just applied. Loved my application, and did the TEDx talk. I was the first speaker on the day, which is amazing, and yeah, it just went amazingly well. I thought I was going to be nervous, but I just went out there and the light shone on me, and it just felt like this is where I was meant to be.
So the youth that you train in public, I mean, I understand the boxing because that's to burn them out and for them to release the energy. What's the purpose and what's the point of public speaking for the youth?
For me, it's needed in all aspects of life. I was never taught it, and I always joke when they used to do the school plays.
I don't think any of us were ever taught it.
Yeah, say some people have got that ability, but they might be around people that talk a lot more, the families and people around them. There might be a natural somebody in the family that's a good communicator.
Yeah.
But others don't always get the opportunity. And for me, I was always shy, always quiet. I used to get bullied quite a lot. And I can remember, like I say, a joke at school, I'd always get chosen, the school plays. I'd always be the tree or the sheep, the non-speaking roles.
We've all been there.
So I never learnt the skills. And when I went into Empower, I went there at the bottom level, progressed all the way to senior management. And I remember sitting there with my manager once, and she goes, "Where are your family from?" I go, "What's this got to do with anything?" And she goes, "Are you second generation?" And I go, "Yeah." She goes, "I can tell." And she goes, "It's the way you talk, and because of this and your lack of communication skills, you're never going to make it." And I thought, well,
it's not very helpful from a teacher, is it?
It's not very helpful, and this is not really going to help me.
Yeah.
And if I'm honest, I thought there was nothing that was going to help me until I walked into Toastmasters, and that helped me develop the skills.
There's nothing that you can't achieve. There's always a resource out there to help you, but it's just sometimes we don't know where to look. Like Toastmasters is amazing. I done Toastmasters years ago, and it's like every bit of learning is beneficial, but sometimes these things are not widely available.
I still try to tell you, it's a skill, and like anything else in life, the more you practice something, the easier it becomes.
Yeah.
The way I see communication and public speaking is a slightly different skill to many, in that I see it going to the gym. If you're not continuously working at that muscle of talking and communicating, and you stop doing it for a while, it starts to retract like your muscles would. So you have to keep going, and that's what I like about the setup of Toastmasters. Is every single month, twice, you go twice, and you're practicing all the time, practicing the skill. And I've took all that, adapted it, and changed it, and created my own modules. So I've one about conversational skills. How do you have a conversation? How do you start a conversation? How do you continue a conversation? The importance of open-ended questions.
So how am I doing right now?
Excellent. Yes, I've seen you speak a few times, and you do well.
Like, I'm being assisted, but you're right. There's an art to it. There's a skill to it, and learning that skill is brilliant. Sometimes we're doing it without even realizing we're doing it until we go on these courses. And then you think, okay, so I've been doing it right, or I've done this wrong. But I mean, for the youth, very important. For their professional development and their personal development.
Definitely, I see young people come into my class. And that first day, I do a lot of impromptu speaking, so I'll ask them questions, tell them to come up and speak. And you see them on that first day, and they're trembling and they're shaking, and they'll speak for about 10 seconds and go and sit down. And by the end of the 12 weeks, they're standing up there for 2 minutes talking.
But it's also about their confidence as well, isn't it?
Confidence, yeah.
About the self-esteem, about the way they perceive themselves, about the way how they feel. If they feel positive about themselves, then chances are they're going to go ahead and succeed.
Yeah, definitely.
So you've also done some work in the. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. So you've done some work in the mental health space for children as well. What kind of work are you doing there?
It's basically all ties into the 12-week program. So it's a 2-hour class each session. So the first hour is boxing.
Yeah.
Then the second part is the mindset, and then the final part is the public speaking. So for the mindset part, I try to take.
Where
all the
do
learning.
you currently see the children's mindset at the moment? Because from when I'm standing, it's a mess.
Yeah.
It's a mess. And what do you think is the reason behind this? I mean, do you think social media has something to do with it, or what's the? I mean, we had challenges growing up.
Yeah.
But what you see today is just on a different level.
Yeah, I think it's multiple things. I think there's a lot of anxiety there. So social media plays a part into that. There's a lot of comparison and looking at social media, comparing against each other. there's different types of bullying now from what we saw, a lot of cyberbullying and things like that. Also, they're living in difficult times compared to what's going on in terms of the amount of fear that they feel. They've had a big period of COVID, there's the fear of war, we've gone into another recession. I think they're just full of anxiety.
And when we talk about recession, we think it's just the parents.
Yeah.
They've got the bills to pay. But there's a knock-on effect on the children as well, isn't there?
Definitely. I think the children definitely can feel
and
that.
there's negativity in the house.
Yeah.
Parents arguing, talking about money, talking about fear,
Yeah.
Radiating fear into the house. This obviously plays onto the children. So what's any typical stories that you can share with us?
I noticed a massive difference because I started running my program just before COVID, and then during COVID, I did a lot of online courses. But going back into schools afterwards, I noticed a definite difference in the children, and there's a lot more anxiety. I had children in my classes talking about self-harm, some talking about suicidal thoughts.
Wow.
I had one child that just lost his grand during COVID, and he developed a stutter.
Wow.
And through the program, by the time we got to the end of the program, he had lost his stutter, and the program had actually helped him lose it.
Well done.
Which is an amazing experience. But I did definitely see a lot more anxiety. And there's a lot of things that I didn't think I'd hear in a classroom. Working in this program with children talking about suicidal thoughts and things like that. I was running these programs for many times. It was a new experience for me as well. I was learning.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's quite a shock to me. And raising it to the school and teachers that sometimes didn't even realise.
They don't.
So
I think that's one of the key problems. The teachers, unfortunately, are not trained to recognise and identify the signs of mental health. And if a child's disruptive, goes into a naughty corner, which then escalates the problem.
Definitely.
Rather than find a solution for it, it escalates the problem. You've also done some theatre play.
Yes, so I said
local superstar.
Yeah, speaking and public speaking, like I say, it's helped me massively as well. I'm setting up this business, but also opportunities. So somebody had seen my LinkedIn post and seen that I was working with children in the mental health space, and seen that I'd done a lot of speaking, and said, "Would you like to do a play?" And the first thing that came to mind was, no, I've never acted in my life. But then I've got this mindset now where just say yes, see how it goes, and just give it a go. So I said yes. I went along and walked into the audition, and just got handed a script and said, go for it, and kept on practicing. And over the next few months, just improved and started to find a real buzz for it.
Fantastic.
So we did the play a couple of months ago in the Crescent Theatre. It's called Mr. Singh's Had Enough.
Mr. Singh's Had Enough. Wow.
Yeah, so it's about I played Mr. Singh.
Is there an online recording of it anywhere? Or?
I don't think there is, but we are planning on continuing in the new year.
Okay.
So I think June, July, we'll be going around again to different places, doing the play as well. So I think my little daughter might get a part in there as well.
Oh,
so
fantastic.
It's an amazing experience.
How old is she?
She's 10.
Oh, bless.
Yeah, so she really wanted to get involved.
Brilliant.
So, yeah. It's
and if people want to get in touch with you,
yep.
And help, participate, or enroll their children with you, how can they get hold of you?
So I'm on all the social media networks, but if you just go into Google and type in Magical Mind Coaching.
Magical Mind Coaching.
Yeah, you'll all my details will come up, my website and everything else, and you'll be able to contact me through there.
Fantastic. You know what? You're doing an amazing job. Keep her up. And if there's anything that we can do, or our viewers can do, please do reach out. You know what? We need more people like you in the community. We're in challenging times, and it's going to take Cape Crusaders like yourself to actually get us through this. So, Jin, thank you very much. We're going to trouble you now.
Thank you.
And we're going to ask you to make a pizza.
Good.
Now, the dough is ready. We want you to use your imagination and put the toppings. What kind of topping guy are you?
Probably chicken, mushrooms, spice, got a spice.
So we had somebody that day who put sprouts onto the pizza. What's your thoughts on sprouts?
Not for me.
Yeah. So you know what? To your heart's content. Whatever you feel like putting on the pizza, go for it.
Might not be as exciting as sprouts, but see.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So this is the part of the podcast where we ask our extinguished guest to make a pizza of his choice. This week, Chef Mo, can you come here please? He's so camera shy, this lad. If you remember from last week, Chef Mo was the one who we interviewed and he prepared the pizza. Have you made that pizza yet? And don't forget the hashtag Chef Mo. So this week, Chef Mo has very kindly prepared the base. So we won't trouble our guest with having to roll the dough or to make the base, but we will ask our guest to put some toppings on of his choice. What kind of topping guy are you?
So we're going to keep it quite simple today. So a bit of tomato, a bit of ham and some cheese.
Oh, that's boring, man. Come on, we need to see some creativity. Okay. We need some mind magic here.
We'll open some of these up and put a hand up and...
We need to see some mind magic. Sometimes just put your hand in the pot and just see what comes out.
Oh, we do a bit of I'm a celebrity out here, put a hand in.
Perfect, perfect. So, the tomato sauce.
Okay.
You're laying that on a bit thick there.
It's a bit thick.
Not that I'm any expert. I just stand here making it awkward for people to make. And on goes the ham. I think we just put a bit. If I was paying for that pizza, come on.
Yeah, we'll put
that's it. Right, and some.
Yeah. Okay. Ready?
And there we have it. That's actually rather impressive. That is it's
Simple
probably
is best.
Absolutely. Look at that. It's well, we have to get you to come and rate it now. I mean, you know what? That actually looks pretty good. I think we should call this cheesy ham.
Yeah.
A lot of cheese on there.
It's a
but I think it looks really tasty. It looks so well done. Yeah. Have you done this before?
I haven't. No,
sure?
First time.
You want to put some?
Yeah, I think it's
missing
one thing. So a bit of basil. I'll
We've
finish
got
it up.
Wow, look at that. I think that's new on the menu now, isn't it?
Yeah. If you add it.
Cheesy ham pizza.
That's it.
Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Wow. Amazing. So, Mo.
Yeah.
The time has arrived.
I think it can arrive like
Yes, because our previous, the highest one on the board at the moment is 8.
Yeah.
We can't do yours from last week because yours doesn't count.
Okay.
So we have 8 as a benchmark. How would you rate this one?
8.5.
8.5.
8.5.
Why?
Cooked good, looks nice. The gradient is beautiful color. It shows up.
8.5, not bad.
That's good, I'll take that.
Yeah. Not bad. One of these days, I'm gonna have to try and do one.
Yeah.
Probably give me a 1. But brilliant. Thank you very much. There you have it, people. If you want to be part of the podcast, please give us a shout. We'll be more than happy to have you on the show. Only condition is that you have to come and make a pizza for us as well. Until next time, be good, be safe, and see you very soon.